So there is a hearing right now in federal court that could set limits on what ICE can and cannot do when it comes to protesters and to journalists. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski live this afternoon at the Dirksen Federal Building with what this case is all about. Charlie?
Well, Stephen, the case is still going on, that hearing up on the 14th floor, but the implications, as you said, very important because they affect the First Amendment and the right to protest outside of ICE facilities and wherever ICE and Customs and Border Patrol may be in the city of Chicago and actually in the Northern District of Illinois. Judge Sarah Ellis has given every indication that she does plan to grant a temporary restraining order. That's something being asked for by the Headline Club, the NABET Broadcast Union, and a number of independent journalists. She is still debating this in court, but she says there seems to be reasonable evidence to indicate that ICE has used excessive force in numerous situations against journalists, against peaceful protesters, and against people praying outside the Broadview facility. Of course, there are still some details being worked out, but this is some of what she had to say in court. She said the loss of First Amendment freedoms, even for a limited time, represents irreparable injury to the plaintiffs in this case. She went on to say it is hard to imagine how an injunction that requires the defendant to adhere to the Constitution could be harmful. Now, what is taking so long in this case are the details of the TRO. They are going over the instances when force can be used, how it can be used, what is the difference between active resistance and other kinds of resistance, including resistance that could cause injury to an officer. They're going over the kinds of weapons that can be used against those protesters, but the judge giving every indication that a TRO will be granted. Right now, it looks like she will take all of this under advisement, including the language of the TRO, and issue her actual ruling in the morning. But this could be a major victory for protesters and for journalists who are covering the active protests against Customs and Border Patrol and ICE here in Chicago. A TRO looks like it will be granted soon, but perhaps not tonight. Reporting live from the Federal Building, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC5 News.
Thank you so much, Charlie.